So today we're going to take a quick look at the admin tab. In order to get to the admin tab in Congregation Connect, you're going to navigate to your waffle on the top left corner of your screen, and you're going to search for admin. You'll click on the admin under items. And once you select that, you will see a screen that looks similar to this one. You'll see at the top here, it says invoices. So invoice naming sets the default naming convention for new invoices created through the virtual terminal, batch revenue processing, and batch payment processing. And there are a total of 3 options here. You'll see this option is choose first designation on invoice. And this will combine the account name and the designation of the first scheduled transaction that was created and the close date. So that's what that option will do. There is also the option to use the household name and date, which will combine the account name and the creation date. And then there's also the option to enter the name under invoice naming. And that option provides you with a field in each interface to enter an invoice name. If you leave the field blank, then it will default to the household name and date naming convention. So credit card fees over here is just the percentage of credit card fee that you will be applying. So you can assign that right there. Below this, you'll see contacts and household members. So assign soft credit here means that you are just going to assign soft credit to household members when revenue is received. Auto assign contacts here. If this is selected, it will auto assign household contacts 1 and 2 when contacts are created. Use contact type here. You would select this option if you would like to use the contact type field to define contact 1, 2. And then the greeting field auto population. If this is selected, it just means that the auto greetings field will be checked off by default. So if you have that selected, then you will have that checked off by default at the contact level. Below this, you'll see virtual terminal. There are 2 options here that you can select. The default for the apply fee checkbox in the virtual terminal is what this is referring to. And then default for the use account address checkbox in the virtual terminal is what this is referring to. So if these are selected, then these options will be selected by default in the virtual terminal. Next, on the admin tab screen, you will also see a financial section and a transaction export section. We're not going to go over these today, and you don't need to touch these settings. But below that, on the admin tab, you will see school settings. Here you see class, email, logs, class activity. So class, email, logs, class activity, marking this field as true will create an activity log on the class record every time an email is sent through the send an email button. The class email logs contact activity, this field, if you mark it as true, will create an activity log on the applicable contact records every time an email is sent through the send an email button. Below the school settings, you'll see Jewish date integration. You'll see the Israel calendar here. And if you mark this as true, if you want the Torah portion to follow the Israeli calendar, then you would mark this as true. For Ashkenazic, you could mark this as true if the Hebrew values should follow Ashkenazic phonetics. Below that, you'll see authorized.net section at the bottom here. And here are where you would enter your authorized.net credentials. So your authorized.net username would go here for merchant authentication. And beside that, you see the transaction key. And this is where you would enter the authorized.net transaction key for merchant authentication. Below these 2 items, you'll see a little test checkbox. And if that is checked, it represents that you're using a test account with authorized.net. Once you have all of these settings entered in the admin tab, you can click save at the bottom of the screen to save all of these settings. And the admin tab is likely something that you will be using. You will probably be navigating to it one time only to enter these settings and then save them. So that is everything for the admin tab.